that. If I could come to Ms. Smith, I only have a moment, but you talked about the importance of having a continuity of care. Could you expand on what that means for you and what that might look like?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for the question. Well, continuity of care really is important so that there aren't gaps in care, that the veteran feels supported as they move through their life. So whether they're having to relocate because of whatever, financial reasons, personal reasons. For me to have moved from Ottawa to Winnipeg, I was given a 3-month supply of medications and a finger crossing while hope that you get a case manager before that runs out. And that was even giving Winnipeg VAC a heads up, well, like 6 months ahead of me moving. I let them know, VAC, I'm coming, please set up my files, etc. But yeah, really that continuity means that you are caring for the veteran and that you care what happens when they leave one office and they arrive in another one. And that's important. And if you're talking about trust, building trust and rapport, I think continuity of care is at the base of that.
Well, thank you, Chair. I appreciate that. If I could come back to Ms. Smith, I just think it is important that we go back to the housing insecurity that she talked about. We know that at this point, it's about 16.2% women who are serving our country. And yet on the other side, we're seeing 30% of veterans who are unhoused or in housing insecurity are women. So that's telling me that something's significantly not working on the VAC side that we need to address. So I'm just wondering if you could share with the committee a little bit about your difficulties in accessing services and connecting with VAC when you were in housing insecurity. If you could just explain where the gaps are so that we can start looking at how we can see that remedied.
Certainly. So as I mentioned earlier, I had almost 30 years of experience without being a VAC client, not even knowing that VAC even was a thing, that existed. But once becoming a VAC client, I was housing insecure in all its forms. And again, talking with various nonprofits or VAC saying we don't have a housing mandate, look on Kijiji. Ottawa, City of Ottawa Social Housing said, well, there's a list. It's about 5,000 people long. So, but there's housing out there. She's looking on her laptop and says, yeah, there's tons of stuff that comes up. But again, not addressing things that someone with a trauma history, a woman veteran with a trauma history, would find these to be barriers to that housing, as well as the Veterans House Initiative. And while I applaud what they're doing, what they're attempting to do, when I spoke with the person in charge there when they were still fundraising, she had said that I had mentioned, is there any trauma awareness being built in? Like, well, how does that work? Because I see that you have 40 units, and yes, you're telling me that it's open to both men and women. Right away, I said, there's no way that myself as a woman veteran would even want to enter into that building. It's communal living. And if you look at the pictures, you can go online and see what this housing system looks like. And it really replicates almost exactly the environments in which many women, service women, were sexually assaulted. So just safety-wise, and then you think about, well, there's like basement laundry stuff, and then all the places where, danger exists and danger lurks. And I don't think that they've got it quite right. And crossing fingers and hoping, well, we're all adults and we've all learned that now somehow that means that the housing is safe for women. And we do know that women veterans are choosing to live in their cars rather than apply to stay at a place like Veterans Housing Initiative. I think that's unfortunate and definitely needs to be worked on. I would recommend women-specific housing for veterans.